Hey there and welcome back to Sims Sunday. My name is Pete and in this series we try to fully complete The Sims 3. And we start things off with Pauline, who comes fresh from a round of stealing from the last episode and who can now take one more step towards completion of a wish. Pauline wants to donate 2,500 simoleons to Undermine Charity. We already have 2,000 donated, so 2 small payments of 250 simoleons each will do the trick. Afterwards it's time for, well, not necessarily breakfast for her. Let's just say Pauline grabs something to eat and we quickly enter buy mode, and we do so to purchase a second easel. The one that we already have is currently being used by Paul, so this one will now allow Pauline to continue painting. At around 2:30, Patrick is awake and well rested, and for him it's also wish fulfillment time. He wants to garden, so he gets to garden. At roughly 4 AM then, Chastity wakes up and can quickly change into something a bit more presentable, and her social bar is somewhat lacking at the moment, so it's a good thing that Patrick has just finished planting, as the two of them can now have a quick conversation.
Berganotas, Berkey Nerb, Garni Vertaka, Kudo Rosip.
Pauline then finishes her first painting for the episode, and since she's not too tired yet, I think we still have the time to start another one. Outside, Chastity has filled her social bar, not to the max but enough to get through the day, and so as Patrick starts taking care of his garden now, Chastity can teleport off to play some more guitar. And then last but not least it's Paul's turn, who will start his day with a lobster breakfast, and who can then continue to work on Chastity's portrait. Speaking of paintings, outside Pauline finishes number 2, and looking at her energy bar, that should be enough for now. We can of course still sell the painting, but then send Pauline off to bed. She does have another shift ahead of her in the evening, and I want her to be well rested for that. Outside, Patrick is already done in the garden and can now therefore grab the mail, and on his way we can as usual sell the money tree harvests, and then also go into the family inventory to sell what we just received in the mail. And here we are, Paul completes Chastity's portrait, and the beautiful one I have to say. We will put that in Paul's inventory for now, and he can continue with the creative work. From painting he can now make the switch over to writing and continue his masterpiece novel. Patrick meanwhile has not only taken care of his garden, but has also fed all of his fish, so he can now take a shower, but on the way there we notice that the teleportation pad has apparently broken again. After his shower, Patrick can therefore quickly call the repair services, because I don't really want him to risk getting fried again. Instead, he can just play with the Sim Life goggles to raise his fun bar. A good hour later that has been achieved, and we can now take care of something that I wanted to do for quite a while now, and that is to give Patrick an outfit overhaul. And the most notable changes have definitely been made in the everyday outfit. I tried to go for a fully outdoorsy look, and I also gave him some glasses because, well, his eyes are not getting better. With his formal outfit I didn't go too much overboard. No tie or anything here, just a light casual suit. For the sleepwear I went with green again. And the green is also incorporated in his athletic outfit, an outfit that we will probably not see him wear though. Last but not least the swimwear, and I actually customized the trousers here with the leaves on it. I think that represents Patrick's character quite well. And with his new outfit, Patrick will now actually head back to bed. Not to sleep however, just to take a quick nap before work. His shift at the grocery store starts in about 2.5 hours, and that is more than enough time to get a bit of rest. And while Patrick gets some rest, Pauline gets back up well rested, and after a quick shower we will make an important phone call with her. You see, Pauline is in dire need of a partner. However, Pauline doesn't really strike me as the person for true love. I imagine she would be looking for a partner that she can use to further her own goals, and maybe Reid Glenn could be such a person.
Yorb!
And so, while we wait for Reid to come over, Pauline will now paint again. However, only for a few moments, because then Reid arrives, topless, to make a great first impression. And while Pauline and Reid hopefully build a relationship, Patrick ends his nap and then teleports off to the grocery store. A few minutes late, but it shouldn't hurt his job performance too much, and so a promotion is still the realistic target for his shift today. Back at home, we learn that Reid is indeed single, and therefore Pauline can now switch to flirty mode. Alright, I think it's time we go for that first kiss, but sadly Reid doesn't think the same way. Well, looks like Pauline has to put a bit more work in. And work is a good point because Patrick just leaves his, and as expected he gets himself promoted to level 2 of the grocery store clerk part-time career. Back at home, Pauline goes for the kiss a second time, but is once again met with the rejection. And now we sadly have to shift our priorities from Reid to Pauline herself, because Pauline is getting pretty hungry and her work shift is about to start soon. So we'll quickly have a grab a slice of cake and then we'll head into build mode. You see, today is a very unfortunate day for Chastity. While she is still bringing in a nice amount of money with her guitar sessions, the gameplay with Chastity is getting very repetitive at this point. And so we need another ghost on our property, and I have decided for this one to be a red one. That means trial by fire, and we're currently building the structure for that. But first of all, let's go back to Patrick. He has returned from his shift and can now plant what he harvested earlier, and so increase his garden further. Pauline is now no longer hungry and can now pick up the sim life goggles to really get herself into the mood for work, and at the same time Paul can put the sim life goggles back down. He used those to alleviate some stress from writing, but with his fun bar now filled again, he can return to his novel. And just a few minutes later, Pauline has maxed out her fun bar as well, and she can now teleport off to the criminal warehouse to start her shift. And so, Chastity's day at the theater now comes to an end. She made 4,500 simoleons in tips, and she can now return home to light a few fires. And for all of this to go smoothly, we have to do two more things. First of all, we need to remove the door, and then after that we also need to get rid of Chastity's brave trait, because we don't want her to try and extinguish anything here. So with the midlife crisis lifetime reward we can remove the trait, and let's just grab absent-minded instead. And now we wait. While we do so, we can quickly send Patrick off to bed. And a bit over an hour later, his brother Paul can do the same. Then at 2 AM, Pauline finishes her shift at the criminal warehouse, and once again she gets herself promoted. Now at level 9, she's only one more promotion away from completing the criminal career. And back at home, things are now starting to heat up. As expected, a fire has broken out and Chastity is right in the middle of it. Interestingly enough, as you can see here, the ghost of a Yisha has actually joined her, and the Yisha is now actually fighting against the flames, although I suppose just a little bit too late. And so Chastity turns into a flaming red ghost, and we can now take care of the cleanup. With the ruins demolished, we can now take care of Chastity's final resting place, and that will of course be at the side of Pete and Ahisha. And I switched things up slightly here and decided to give everyone a separate table. Chastity's urn can then go on the table over to the right here. And her portrait can go up above that, and let's not forget to frame it. And so the complete family crypt welcomes its newest member, Chastity Complete, may you rest in peace. And at this point, a quick break in the action, we now have to talk about the guitar skill. As you might have noticed, we did not actually complete the guitar skill with Chastity. Still, for the sake of this playthrough, I would consider it complete, and here's why. The guitar skill is pretty much uncompletable unless you design not only a sim but an entire household for that. The reason for that is the Guitar Star skill challenge, which is widely considered to be bugged. To complete that skill challenge, we need to complete 10 very specific skill opportunities in the guitar skill. Now, with opportunities in this game being divided not only between skills but only between sims in the household, getting 10 instances of the correct opportunity in the correct skill with the correct sim is so highly unlikely that it can be considered almost impossible to complete on normal lifespan with more than 2 sims in the household. So for that reason I decided to skip Guitar Star for this playthrough. As a matter of fact, I never even received one instance of the opportunity with Chastity. Still, I think we explored the guitar skill to its fullest, and for the sake of this playthrough I would mark it off as completed. Now a heartbroken Paul will go back to bed as Pauline returns home and starts painting again. Although it seems like she could use some instructions on that. The new day then starts with Patrick in the garden, and after the ghost of a Yesha returned to its urn, I also quickly finished the family crypt. Inside, Pauline finishes a painting that we can now sell and then send Pauline over to the mailbox. 250 simoleons still remain until we can fulfill her wish, and so let's send those off right away and get her a few lifetime happiness points. Afterwards, it's time to invite someone over, but it's not Reid this time. Instead, it will be one of Pauline's co-workers. And after eating an apple, Pauline can once again go back to painting for a few minutes, right before Pierre arrives and the two of them can do a bit of bonding. The reason for that is Pauline's accomplices rating, which is not maxed out yet. A short while later, however, Pauline and Pierre have become best friends, the rating is maxed out, and so it's now time for Pierre to leave again. And inside, Pauline meets a well-rested and freshly showered Paul, who once again sits down to continue work on his novel while Pauline goes off to bed.
Darbo!
The writing efforts are only of short duration, however, because a heartbroken Paul could definitely use some social interaction. And well, luckily, his brother Patrick just finished work in the garden and can now cheer Paul up a bit. Afterwards, Patrick can do a bit more planting and Paul can go back to writing. And with another full row of garlic planted, it is now high time for Patrick to make his way over to work, so he can quickly chew on an apple and then teleport over to the grocery store. Meanwhile, a well-rested Pauline is back up and she will now make another phone call. This time, however, it will be Reid who we invite over. Alright, Reid seems to be occupied for the next 2 hours, so let's kill some time with a breakfast. Then it's time for a shower. And then it's time to call again. Alright, lovely, Reid will be over in just a moment, and while we wait and also in preparation of the work shift later, let's have Pauline play with the sim life goggles. In the grocery store, meanwhile, a rather unsuccessful shift ends for Patrick. The death of Chastity and also the stress from work did put a large penalty on his mood, and so Patrick was only able to fill a small part of his work performance meter. Still, we only need one more promotion to complete the career, and there are 2 more workdays left this week. At home, another break in the writing action for Paul. This time it's the fun bar that's troubling him, so let's have him grab the sim life goggles while Pauline's bare-chested boyfriend-to-be arrives. In the background you can also see Patrick, who's about to take a shower. Alright, Pauline and Reid are busy flirting and the hangout has now turned into a date. Meanwhile, Patrick has finished his shower and can now, just like his brother, play with the sim life goggles. And outside, we risk the 3rd attempt at a kiss. Lovely, Pauline has achieved success after all, and let's actually take things one step further and have her start a relationship with Reid. Wonderful, and now that Pauline has a boyfriend, it is high time to teleport off to the criminal warehouse. Pauline's shift starts in only a few minutes, and even though she will likely not get a promotion due to her shift being only 4 instead of 5 hours now, we still want to get the best possible results. With a maxed out fun bar, Patrick can now plant the few plants that he didn't manage to plant before his work shift started. Then afterwards he can quickly grab the mail and we can make a bit of money. And then finally it's time for him to go to bed. Half an hour later, his brother Paul can do the same, and we can jump back over to Pauline. Now, for some reason, Pauline has worked longer than she needed to. Her shift actually ended at 1 AM, but she stayed inside the criminal warehouse until 2. Nonetheless, she did not manage to get herself a promotion, and so, still a cat burglar, we can send her home, start painting again, and make the cut in this episode. In the next one, we will very likely grow our household again, and we might as well complete another career, a part-time career, and another lifetime wish. Until then, I can say thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers!